Zach, you've got a different kind of gun in your hand.
Yeah, this is a really weird gun. It's the God gun.
It doesn't seem very godly. It's got some sticker residue on it.
Yeah, unfortunately the label is missing from there, and I can't find anyone that will make a reproduction of it.
You could just slap whatever sticker you wanted on the side.
No, because it's got to be the correct sticker.
You could make it your own.
No, it's got to be the correct sticker. This is the God gun.
I'm gonna need to know why it's called that, because it does not seem very godly.
Have you ever heard of Miles gear?
It sounds familiar. I think you've mentioned it before.
Miles gear is basically laser tag. So there's multiple parts to what Miles gear is, and Miles stands for Multiple Integrated Laser Engagement System. There's multiple things that go with it, and one of the things is you get like a harness that has a bunch of little domes on it, and then there's a box that's attached to the harness that has like a little computer in it. And then there's a second part to it, which is part of your personal equipment, that's called the halo, and that goes on your helmet. It's a donut with a bunch of little domes on it.
It sounds like it would be goofy, as in the mocap suit from any recording studio.
Kind of. It's kind of goofy. We always called them Miles gear. Apparently, the new official name is Miles 2000 because that was when they like redid it. Was in the year 2000.
Okay.
And I think the Army is actually currently looking for a replacement for Miles gear because like we've been fucking using it since like the 1970s.
It seems like it would be a useful alternative to paintball simulations.
It's definitely a useful alternative to just shooting at each other with blank rounds.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, like, shooting at each other with blank rounds is actually not a terrible way to do training, but then the problem is, like, you can just be like, nah, I didn't get hit. Miles gear is just like, no, you got hit.
Mm-hmm.
The thing that's funny to me about Miles gear is the harness is like a set of suspenders. Nobody ever explained to us at any point that you're supposed to use the Miles gear harness as the suspenders for your load-bearing gear. So what you would end up doing, what we always ended up doing, was you would put it over your load-bearing gear. So now you have you put on two sets of suspenders for some reason.
Okay.
Yeah, that's basically what everyone would do.
So you've used this kind of gear before.
I have used, because I was at Fort Polk, everyone is just constantly going, hey, you know what? We should go out to the field for 2 weeks. That would be great. We didn't just come back from the field like 3 days ago. We should definitely go back out to the field for 2 more weeks.
What are you, infantry?
Because I was attached to infantry, yeah.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, I ended up going out to the field way more than you would have normally, because it meant that when 94th Brigade Support Battalion went out to the field, I went out to the field with them. But when Bravo Company of 2-4 Infantry is going out to the field, I have to go out to the field because they are out there.
Having a nature walk.
And I need to go out there to make sure that none of their machine guns break.
Mm-hmm.
Which, like, I get whatever. I guess that's just part of being part of a forward support company. But yeah, it meant I went out to the field a lot. Anyway, Miles gear. Miles gear is this thing that's basically, it's supposed to supplement blank training. Because, like, militaries have used blank rounds for a very long time to, like, do training.
But now we have this technological alternative.
But now you've got a little vest with little domes on it. And you put a little box on the end of your rifle. The early Miles gear lasers were fucking massive. They were like, I am not joking, they were like a 4-inch box that you would attach above the barrel of your rifle.
Oh, okay. That might make the barrel a little heavier.
It makes it all very heavy. The way the Miles gear system works is it shoots a little infrared light, or I guess it's a laser. It shoots a little infrared laser. Of course it's a laser, it's got laser in the name. What if it doesn't actually have a laser in it, though? It's just like they put the word laser in it because it sounded cool. It's
Maybe.
actually just a TV remote. I wonder if you could set off Miles gear with a TV remote.
Ooh,
I've never tried. Probably not, because that's just an infrared LED, not an actual laser. The way the Miles gear system works is you have a little laser on the end of your rifle, little, quote-unquote. You have a laser on the end of your rifle, you fire blanks through the rifle, and there's like a microphone in the back of the Miles system.
Microphone?
Yeah, there's a little tiny microphone in the back of it that when you fire a blank, it hears the noise of the gunshot, and so it fires the little laser. E4 Mafia, pro tip for you guys, if you are in the military and you have to do training with Miles gear and you don't want to clean your M16 afterwards, just tap the little microphone and it will fire the laser out of it.
So Miles gear works in tandem with blanks. It records you firing blanks.
Yeah, I mean, it's not really recording anything. When you fire the gun and it shoots the little laser out of the end of it, if you are wearing Miles gear and it detects that you have been shot with a thing, it starts beeping. And I believe that it is capable of doing like a near miss. So like, oh, you're getting shot at, in which case it'll go like meep meep and beep at you. Or it'll just start doing a solid beep if you get shot or hit.
Okay.
And then what happens is one of the observer controllers comes over, and then you have the casualty cards.
Okay, yeah.
So with your Miles gear, you are issued a little envelope with a casualty card in it, and when you get killed, you open the casualty card and it says what you're supposed to do.
Lay on the ground and bleed, I suppose.
Depending, because sometimes if you're doing like actual training with Miles gear, they'll just be like, yeah, you're shot. So just pretend you're shot. Don't even bother taking the casualty card out. You're just shot.
Okay.
Other times they'll be like, okay, now take the casualty card out, and you'll pull the casualty card out, and you'll be like, Sergeant, mine says tubal pregnancy, and it's like, you got shot, shut up, lay down. And so I mentioned a thing that was the observer controller, or you call them OCs for observer controllers. And when I was at Fort Polk, they were all people who had actually been in combat before, and what they did is basically follow you around while you're doing training. And if they see you do something stupid, they'll just quote-unquote kill you. Or tell you, hey, you fucked up, you're doing this wrong. That's gonna get you killed in the streets. And they had a thing called the God Gun, which is this.
So that's an actual laser tag style gun.
This is an actual Miles laser, and the thing that's really funny about this is there are multiple Miles lasers. And this is the one that I was the most familiar with. I saw a bunch of observer controllers have these when I was at Fort Polk. This one is literally one of the lasers that goes on a belt-fed machine gun that they modified to attach a pistol grip to and changed the back of it.
Oh, okay.
The little plate that's right there, that's where the microphone would normally be.
Okay.
So there would normally be a little mesh thing that you can just tap the back of it repeatedly to make it fire.
Yeah, it looks like a speed gun.
Yeah, it looks like a radar gun. I mean, it is quite literally a laser, so it's, you know.
So the first sergeant or someone would just aim that at someone and say, "You're dead, bang!"
No, so the way this works is when you pull the trigger, a little red light turns on, which says firing.
Oh, yours is functional. Surprising.
Mine is functional, which is very, very surprising. It is missing. There's also supposed to be a little key hanging off of the bottom of it, which unfortunately is gone. And the key is used to reset the Miles gear, because like I said, you have that little box that's on the harness, and when it starts beeping, you have to go stick a key into it and turn it, and that key makes it stop beeping. Which is really fucking annoying, because you are not issued a key when you get the Miles gear. So you'll sit down in the dining facility, and someone will set their weapon down a little bit too hard, and the laser emitter will think that the gun just fired, because it'll hear the clack of the gun hitting the ground, so it'll fire the laser on it, thus hitting someone in the dining facility, and now you're sitting there, and you just hear beep, and it won't stop beeping.
What a delightful ambience.
And you're like, someone please, just go get the observer control, go get an OC. Go get an OC. Holy fuck, I can't stand the beeping. It's like a smoke detector that just is, the battery is like permanently dead, but somehow it's still alive.
That does sound like it would be very annoying. Yeah.
There is a little door on the Miles gear, like battery pack computer that you have to use a screwdriver to open, and there's like you put a 9-volt battery in there. E4 Mafia gets real good at figuring out how to open one of those very quickly and remove the battery from it.
Yeah, if the alternative is being annoyed, having your ears bleed for an hour, then yeah, I'd want to learn new skills too.
So the thing that's funny about this is if you look at the back of it, it says firing, man kill, universal kill.
It says man kill as one of the options.
Man kill, universal kill. Also, I love that this is just like, it literally is a pistol grip that they just bolted to where the bracket would normally be. And you can see two tiny, very slim, flimsy wires going up into the body of the laser.
Yeah, what are those for?
Those are connecting the trigger to the actual laser itself.
Okay.
And then it does have sights built into it, which I don't believe would normally be on the Miles gear.
How are you going to calibrate those sights? It doesn't seem like you can zero them easily.
I mean, you kind of don't. You just don't.
That's fair, I guess.
So the way you use this...
It's not like you're trying to hit a target 500 yards down.
The way you use this, because I found the manual for it, is when you fire it without pressing any of the buttons on the back, that sends a warning signal. If you want them to be dead, you press the man kill button and point it at them. And it says in the manual that this is desirable for when you want to kill a large group of people, but not the vehicle they are standing next to.
Does the vehicle have miles gear on it too?
Yeah, they make miles gear for vehicles.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
And then the universal kill is that'll kill basically anything. So the vehicles have miles gear, and then instead of having a thing that goes meh and beeps at you, I believe they do still have that, but you attach a big yellow light to the top of the vehicle that starts flashing when it gets killed.
Oh, okay. They have miles gear grenades that blow them up, or anti-vehicle mines?
So what they have for vehicles, it's kind of like a flashbang without any shrapnel or anything. And then the observer controller just goes, yeah, that vehicle's dead, and then just
okay.
kills it.
Kills the vehicle.
They do have a simulated RPG.
How do they simulate that? Just the holster without the actual rocket in it?
No, it's a fucking Nerf football that gets launched via a tiny rocket motor out of a tube.
Okay.
And it makes a loud bang when it impacts something. The first time I saw one of those, I was like, there is no fucking way that any of that shit is safe. This is like you're shooting a bottle rocket at somebody, only the bottle rocket includes the entire fucking bottle.
Yeah?
And I watched them shoot it at a vehicle. Because I went on a training exercise at one point, and like right outside of the base, OpFor set up a massive ambush right outside of our base. I'm like in awe that they managed to do this without anybody noticing, but also we had a bunch of support dudes that were pulling gate guard. So like, yeah, nobody's gonna fucking notice because it's a bunch of support dudes who would rather be, I don't know, playing Xbox or something. 100 feet outside of the base, OpFor fired a simulated rocket, and like I said, it's like a Nerf football that has basically a flashbang inside of it, and they just shot it at the fucking vehicle with people inside the vehicle.
Okay, yeah.
And it hit the side of the vehicle and went bang and made a really loud, like massive loud bang, and it was like a small flashbang going off, which by the way, when you see flashbangs in video games, everybody thinks that it's like if you look at it, you'll go blind and you'll get distorted and dizzy.
Right, the flash part.
Yeah. They don't actually do that.
They're just bangs.
They are very bright, and if you stare directly at one, it's gonna hurt your eyes. But it's not gonna make you be like you just got smacked in the head with something. That's more of like an offensive grenade, which will actually just kill you if you're too close to it.
How many times have you been in an area that's been hit by a flashbang?
I have had a flashbang go off literally 2 feet away from me.
Oh, wait, that doesn't sound like it would be pleasant. Did you have ear pro at the time?
No, I didn't. It isn't pleasant.
No.
It isn't pleasant, and it isn't fun. And now they have flashbangs that go off like 9 times.
Oh, yeah.
I can do it. I will do it 9 times. And then the flashbang goes off 9 times. Yeah, the thing that's actually going to make you, like, concussed is an offensive grenade, which the Army and I believe the Marines have those as well. And that's, like, the Mark III A2 offensive grenade, which is, it's made out of cardboard.
Okay.
The grenade body is made out of, like, a tar-impregnated cardboard so that it's water-resistant.
It's laughable, but it would have to be made out of something softer than metal, otherwise the shrapnel will kill somebody.
Yeah, exactly. The original point of offensive grenades was so you could throw them into trenches and then jump into the trench, and because you're literally jumping into a trench that you're throwing grenades into, so like you can't fucking hear anymore. So like maybe you might throw an offensive grenade into a trench and then one of your buddies is a little bit too close to it. The shrapnel isn't gonna kill them. I mean, if you're like standing right next to an offensive grenade, the blast wave is probably going to kill you. But yeah, an offensive grenade is more like, if one of those goes off near you, you are going to not be able to do anything for like at least 5 seconds. Yeah, Miles Gear has been around a very long time. They have a new Miles Gear gun that is like vaguely 1911 shaped.
Well, I wouldn't doubt that they keep on improving it. This technology does seem a little ramshackle. What possessed you to want to get one of these? Just sheer fascination?
I was digging around on eBay and I saw one and was like, oh my god, I need to have that. I need to get the god gun. The thing that's annoying is mine is missing one of the little rubber boots that covers up one of the little switches on the back, so I need to try to find a new little boot for it. And
so
also,
you're saying the universal kill button isn't normally...
No, it's not supposed to be like that. It's supposed to have a little rubber boot just like this one. Because
okay.
this is supposed to be waterproof. You're supposed to be able to use this in the rain or whatever. It doesn't matter. And that is no longer waterproof. The other thing that's annoying is there was a label on the side of it that said what it was and had like the NSN on it and then the serial number, which you can see the N for NSN and then you can see the SN for serial number. That got ripped off at some point. I wonder if somebody was like, oh my god, I stole this god gun and now I gotta remove the label so they don't know that I stole it from the army. And it's like, bro, I'm pretty sure they're gonna fucking know.
Or maybe the label got wet because the label is water soluble.
No, it's actually, the label is made out of a piece of metal.
Oh.
Yeah, the label is made out of a piece of metal.
That doesn't seem... I can see remnants of the label. How is that made out of metal if there's still pieces of it?
So you can see, like, paper residue on there. I think that's from, like, somebody stuck a label on top of it.
I see.
So the brown stuff is, you can tell that that is actually, like, a metal aluminum foil label.
Alright, yeah.
And then there's a new version of the God Gun, which looks kind of like a, vaguely Beretta / 1911-ish.
Looks a very more computer gun.
Yeah. You said that it seemed kind of ramshackle to you. Do you know who originally designed the Miles Gear system?
Ramshackle Co.?
No, Xerox.
Why
it
not?
literally says Xerox Electro-Optical Systems, Pasadena, California, on the top of the Miles Gear gun.
Okay.
That was the original inventor of Miles Gear, was Xerox.
They make Miles Gear and copy machines.
I think they just kind of made all kinds of electro-optical things.
Oh yeah, so did GE, didn't they?
And GE just makes everything.
Yeah.
Did you ever have to do, like, Miles Gear training? Whenever I've talked to Marines, like, it seems like they're familiar with it, but they never really used it. Or they had a different name for it or something.
I feel like the only thing we ever did was have paintball rounds. There was some kind of bullet that went in your M16 that fired paintballs instead of actual bullets.
Oh, so that's simunitions.
Yeah, so we used simunitions once or twice during combat and job training in the first couple of years. Once I got to my unit, I never did any of that.
Well, yeah, because the guard isn't really, or not the guard.
The reserves.
The reserves aren't really gonna. That sounds expensive, and I don't think they're gonna spring for that.
No. Yeah, there were some training days where we would check our rifles out of the armory and then go down to the grassy knoll and just start aiming our gun at a barrel that had a bunch of symbols on it. That was what we did that day.
So, like, you did that.
We just aimed the rifles at barrels.
Fucking reservists, man. Jesus.
We can't fire bullets every time. That's expensive. And also, we have to make time for filling out paperwork.
I love that there is like a hierarchy of military. There's like a hierarchy of military, and it's like
it's not just military ranks either.
No, it's not, and I'm not referring to military ranks. I'm referring to, you've got like the tier 1 operators, and then you've got like the below them. So like, not necessarily tier 1 operators. Like, I'm not disparaging them by any means, but below them you've got like Army Rangers or Marine Recon or you got SF, and then Army Rangers, Marine Recon, and then you've got the slightly above normal infantry, or like the like Swift boat guys in the Navy, or like the Coast Guard, the ones that like jump onto boats. There's a video of a Coast Guard dude climbing onto like a narco sub, and he's like banging on the top of the narco sub trying to get them to come out. And every single time I see that video, I'm like, fuck, man, I picked the wrong job when I went into the military. That looks cool as fuck.
Just wailing on a submarine. There's
So
a
yeah,
guy up top trying to get in. What should we do? Should we open the hatch? I got a different idea. Let's submerge. It'll be funny.
Well, it's a narco sub. They can't really do much of anything except kind of sit in there and sweat a lot.
It's a narco sub. They can submerge, I imagine.
No, not really. Narco subs basically just are. They call them subs because they're kind of below the water, but they don't really go underwater.
Gotcha.
So anyway, Marine Force Recon, Army SF, and then you've got like Army Ranger, and then the more kind of elite infantry, and then you get like general infantry, and then underneath general infantry you have POG,
Yeah.
which is person other than grunt.
The POG just means piece of garbage, and it basically describes anyone beneath you.
Well, you can apply a bunch of different names to it. That's why you call snacks Pogie bait, because it attracts the Pogs.
Yeah.
Yeah. You open a bag of sunflower seeds, and suddenly like a specialist just pops his head up. Hey, are those sunflower seeds? Hey, can I borrow some sunflower seeds? What do you mean borrow them?
I'll bring them back.
Hey, can I borrow your pen? No, you can't borrow my fucking pen. That's why I always carried 2 pens. One of them was a Skillcraft pen.
Skillcraft?
The Skillcraft are the government issue pens. It's the black pen with the little silver band around the center of it.
Okay.
I'm sure you saw them at multiple points. I always carried 2 pens, my good pen and the Skillcraft pen, because then when someone was like, hey, can I borrow your pen? I would just hand them the Skillcraft pen, because then I didn't give a shit if I didn't get it back.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, you got POGs, and then after POGs, now you have guard and reservist. And it doesn't matter what their job is. Again, I am not disparaging guard and reservists, but like, when you hear POGs complaining about guard and reservist, when you hear people like me out at JRTC being like, bro, how the fuck are these guards and reservists so bad at doing this shit?
Anyway, back to the Miles gear, I suppose.
Back to Miles gear, yeah. So I got the God gun just because, I found it on eBay and I was just like, oh my god, I have to have a God gun. I have to have one.
Okay.
I did so much bullshit with Miles gear that like I have to have one of these now. I do think it would be so funny. Not that I'm ever planning on going back to Fort Polk for any fucking reason, ever.
Nope.
But it would be really funny if this still works with Miles gear. Just to go out there and just whenever I see soldiers in Miles gear, just be like, beep, just kill them.
Yes, don't take this out of context, but I'd love to go down to Fort Polk and start killing some soldiers.
Oh yeah, totally. Oh my god, you know what I just realized? You can do the in Minecraft, only it's not in Minecraft, it's in JRTC.
Yeah.
So like you're like, oh man, dude, I cannot fucking wait to frag my superior officer. In JRTC! I meant in JRTC, that's what I meant. Not in real life. Why would I do that in real life? I can't fucking wait to throw a grenade into his tent. Simulated grenade.
Yes.
At JRTC.
Sure, this will catch on.
Yeah. You wait, there's gonna start being a bunch of soldiers that are gonna start referring to doing illegal activities in JRTC. Or in NTC. The 2 big training areas are JRTC and NTC. JRTC is the one that's at Fort Polk. It stands for the Joint Readiness Training Center. And NTC is the one that's in California, and that stands for the National Training Center. NTC is basically a desert, so it's like going to the desert. As far as I know, NTC is where they do most of the tank training. And then JRTC is at Fort Polk, and it perfectly simulates the environment of Vietnam. I mean, Iraq. Yeah, it's definitely like Iraq.
Okay.
The reason Fort Polk is where it is because they bought it. It was originally a camp. I forget what it was specifically. But they got it, and they got all of this land to do training on. And after the Vietnam War ended, they were like, well, we got all this land that perfectly simulates Vietnam. What should we do with it? We're not going to fucking sell it. We'll just train out there for everything! So, yeah, they just kind of use it for everything. Anyway.
That sounds miserable, but...
Yeah, it means that it's not like... They try to make it kind of like Iraq, but, like, it isn't. It isn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to love doing Miles gear training. I discovered previously there are 2 different trigger mechs for the M16. There is the burst trigger mech, and then there's a full auto trigger mech. I swapped out all of the trigger components on my M16A2 for full auto trigger components.
Okay.
And then while I was out on gate guard, we got attacked by OpFor. And because I was the weird POG sociopath that liked actually training and liked running around in the woods and liked cleaning his M16 and liked shooting at stuff, I had literally brought 12 loaded magazines of blank rounds with me.
Okay.
And I just started laying down suppressive fire with my M16. And then afterwards, when we had repelled the OpFor attack, one of the people that was with me was like, I didn't know we had a 249 I was like, we don't have a 249. I just converted my M16 to full auto.
Because it's legal if you do it while you're in the military. As
They
a
were like-
civilian, maybe not so much.
They were like, dude, do that to mine. And I was like, okay. Don't tell anybody I did this. See, that was great. Any of the time we went out to the field and we got to shoot blank rounds, that was great for me because, like, the ammo, the people that are in charge of the ammo, they don't ever want to have to turn stuff back in. That was how I ended up with a smoke grenade.
Did you actually use it?
No, I didn't use it. I ended up keeping that smoke grenade for years.
You took it home with you?
Yeah.
A live smoke grenade?
Yeah, I just had a live smoke grenade. It was a green smoke grenade. It was my lucky grenade. It
Lucky smoke grenade?
was my lucky smoke grenade.
What, you took it back through airport security to take it home?
Oh god, no. Like I forget what I ended up doing with it. No, and that was when I was at Fort Polk. So
Okay,
that didn't,
okay.
Yeah, that didn't end up going through like airport security or
All
anything.
right, you just kept it with you at Fort Polk for a few years.
Yeah, I had it at Fort Polk for a few years. I forget what happened to it. I may have used it during a like training exercise or something.
Made a cherry bomb, drop it in the first sergeant's toilet.
Wait, no, did I set it off in like the courtyard of our barracks on 4th of July?
Maybe.
Oh my god, I might have done that with it. Dude, I don't remember. It was like 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Miles gear. I remember at one point, one dude put one of the Miles gear lasers on his rifle backwards.
Oh, okay.
Fucking POGs, man. He put the Miles gear laser on his rifle backwards, and the first time he fired it, the laser deflected off of the handguard of his M16 and hit him in the helmet, so he killed himself.
Okay, that's a better outcome than what I thought was gonna happen. I thought maybe like blind himself in the eye or something.
Oh no, it is an eye safe laser. You can't actually. That was one of the big things, is they had to make it an eye safe laser because they knew that soldiers were gonna accidentally shoot each other in the eye with it. They knew that was gonna fucking happen. So it is an eye safe laser. You cannot blind somebody with it. It's just a very low power infrared laser. But yeah, it like deflected off of his handguard. So he first round, bang. What happened? It's like, I remember the OC comes up and is like, "You put your laser on backwards, dipshit." It's just
It's like that gun from Duck Gun that got the barrel pointed at your own head.
The instant self-deletion gun. Sometimes I think back on my the times I had the most fun while I was in the Army was when I was running around in the woods playing soldier. That is when I had the most fun while I was in the Army. And sometimes I think back on it and I think like, man, maybe I should have gone like infantry or something, but like, fuck that. I want to get more Miles gear stuff, but it's kind of difficult to look up Miles gear stuff on eBay because every single time I type it in, it ends up showing me like gearing reductions for cars that have low amount of miles on them. And I'm just like, none of this is what I'm looking for. I want a stupid laser. Give me a dumb laser that I can't use with anything.
Don't know how many of them you're gonna find online.
I've found stuff periodically. I'm currently watching a Miles Gear Halo on eBay that I may end up getting just because I think it would be really funny to put it on the helmet that I still have from when I was in the Army. God, I want one of these new Miles Gear guns. Someone that's currently in the Army, you should totally like find one that fell off of a truck and send it to me.
Misplaced some gear in my hands.
Oh, do they have a new Miles Gear laser? Dude, does it attach to... What? When was this? 2017? Does it attach to the fucking, to like Picatinny rails? Bro, I want one of these. Someone send me one. No, it's still made by Cubic Defense Applications. Dude, oh my god, I want one of these. I need one. I need one.
Okay.
I need more Miles gear. Related to Miles gear, and it is only technically because it is a laser. But there is a thing that is the Northrop Grumman Mark 7 laser rangefinder. It's a really cool laser rangefinder. It was this big black box, and I jokingly referred to it as the Star Wars binoculars.
Okay.
And the cool thing about this laser rangefinder is it was capable of laser rangefinding out to, I want to say like 30 kilometers or something. It was like an absurd distance that you could laser a target. And it had a little lever that you could flip that would rotate a night vision monocular into the body of it so that you could use it at nighttime.
Cool.
It was really cool, and I found one on eBay like years ago, and it worked for me 5 times, and then it never worked again. And I want to say like last year I found another one on eBay, so I bought it, I got it, and it worked once, and then something failed internally, and it would not function anymore.
Just no luck for you, huh?
No luck. And to be fair, this is a laser rangefinder that was made in like literally the year 2000. So it was a 24-year-old laser rangefinder. The fun thing about it is that the original contract was for $35 million for 1,008 of them. And as far as I can tell, they only made 1,008 of them. That meant that one of these lasers cost $34,722.
I was trying to do the math in my head, but nothing was making sense. I see, it's incredibly overpriced.
They were very, very expensive. I wish I could get another one. I check eBay periodically to see if one pops up. But like, there's no reason to get one because I got a pair of laser rangefinding binoculars that literally do the exact same thing as the Northrop Grumman Mark 7 does. Only they just can't laser as far and they don't have night vision built into them. That's it.
Okay.
And also, they don't need to use a weird rechargeable lithium version of a D-cell battery that costs, I am not fucking kidding, $100 for one battery.
That's too much.
The really cool big thing about the Mark 7 laser rangefinder is that you could plug it into a military GPS system called a dagger, and there was another one called a plugger.
Okay.
So you could plug it into a dagger, and then you could plug that into a combat computer, and when you lased a target, it would tell you what the exact coordinates of the thing you lased were.
Oh, okay, that's pretty handy.
Like, because the laser rangefinder itself is really neat. The fact that it can go 10 kilometers and you can use it at nighttime, and it's an eye-safe laser. Also, the tripod that it comes with, it came with a tripod that was made entirely out of non-magnetic materials. So this tripod costs like $600 for this little stupid fold-out tripod that is just so fucking chintzy. It feels terrible. And I remember while I was in the army seeing so many of these tripods and just being like, what the fuck is this bullshit tripod for? Why do we have these things?
It's all very convoluted.
Yeah, I remember seeing the God guns that the Observer controllers had, and I thought it was like the coolest looking weird science fiction gun I had ever seen. And I see it now, and it's like, damn, that thing looks like it's straight out of 1970. What the shit? This looks like something that you would find in Alien.
I could see that being in an Alien movie, but again, it just looks like a police officer's speed camera.
For some reason, it just reminds me of like the motion tracker from Alien. That might be why I like it so much.
I see that, yeah. You gotta keep an eye out for maybe another one of those metallic stickers to slap on the side of it.
Yeah, I'm trying to contact a couple different people that make those kind of stickers to see if I can get one made to replace that. Alternatively, if I find another one of these that's in better condition, I'll just use this one for, like, parts.
Okay. If you somehow come across a second Miles gun.
Well, there was another one on eBay, but it sold. I had just bought this one, and I was like, I'm not going to buy a second one, because it was actually in worse condition than the one I got.
Mm-hmm. But you never were able to get your hands on a second one?
No, and I don't need a second one. I have one already. And I got all the casualty cards, which I have never actually seen, like, pop up for sale anywhere.
Really?
Yeah, I've never... I also haven't really looked that much. I've only looked occasionally. But I've never actually seen the full 500 card set of casualty cards.
It was 500 in the set.
Oh, yeah, there's a lot. There are 5 individual decks, and each deck has 100 cards in it. Now, granted, most of them are just, like, KIA.
Oh, so there's repeat ones in there.
Oh, yeah, there's a bunch of repeat ones. But you do get some weird ones, like tubal pregnancy and laser burns to eyeball.
Maybe one of them is testicular torsion.
I think that is one.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think one of them is testicular torsion. I should have brought him over here.
Wait, you said you didn't have a full collection, didn't you?
No, I have all of them.
Oh.
I have all 500 because I was helping clean out one of, like, the rooms that they store a bunch of shit in. The Army... This happens all the time. Whenever there's stuff in the Army, you get stuff, and because it was part of a budget, you don't know if you'll be able to get it again, you don't know if you'll be able to use it again, you don't know if someone is going to ask you if you have it again. So it ends up getting stored in, like, the company orderly room, or just somewhere at the company. And at the motor pool, there was this big building that multiple companies had stored stuff in there, and then just kind of forgot that it was there. So I was helping go through a bunch of these at one point, and I found this massive cardboard box that had all the decks of casualty cards. It was seriously like a 10-pound box filled with casualty cards.
Wow.
And they were like, yeah, just throw them away.
Just get rid of them.
Yeah, just get rid of them. And I was like, all right. So I grabbed a full set. I grabbed all 5 of them and took them home with me.
Okay.
And I still have them.
All right. You could try to invent a like a Yu-Gi-Oh style game, make up some rules and start playing these cards, have them fight each other.
Maybe. I mean, I would be the only one that would be able to play it, because I'm the only one that has all the casualty cards. When you would go out to the field, there are 2 thoughts on getting injured or getting killed with the Miles gear stuff. One thought is, I don't want that to happen because I want to be left alone. I just want to do my job. Leave me the fuck alone. Or I want to be super cool guy soldier and I don't want to get shot. So I better not get shot. And then the other one is, I hope I get shot because then they send me to the casualty collection point, which is next to a Burger King.
Yeah. All this not trying to get killed thing is stressing me out. It's just easier to kill me.
Yeah, can you, like, point your Miles gear at me and just tap the laser a couple times? Just set it off real quick. So one of the things that some people would do if they were trying to be super cool guy is they would actually put electrical tape over all of the sensors on their Miles gear so that it couldn't actually go off.
Seems cheating, but
yeah. Or you just take the battery out of it. You do that too.
Yeah,
I remember we were out in the field at one point and we had a vehicle with a turret on it, but it didn't actually have, like, proper armor. So we just put cardboard around the turret and then we wrote armor on the cardboard.
Wrote armor.
The observer controller came up and was like, what the fuck are you guys doing? We're like, we're up-armoring our Humvee. And it was just because it was just like a normal Humvee, and we just put cardboard on it and wrote armor on it.
So it's like, couldn't shoot it with the Miles gear.
And he's like, you know the Miles gear sensors are on the outside of the vehicle, right? I can just zap it. It's like, yeah, but if we're in the turret, now we can't get shot. He's just like, I can just say that you're dead. Like, it's really easy.
Can't believe they didn't try to reward you for being so clever.
Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. It depends. It depends on what OC you have with you and whether or not they feel like being cool. Oh yeah, and then there were the fire control guys. They were the ones that set off the simulated artillery or simulated mortar strike or simulated IED. And they rode around on a four-wheeler, and they had basically a box on the back of their four-wheeler that was just filled with explosives.
Sounds like they're having fun.
It was basically fireworks.
Yeah.
Like loud fire, like artillery simulators, which the artillery simulators are neat. They're like a little cardboard tube that looks kind of like a grenade, and you pull a fuse on it, and it goes beep, boom, like really loud.
Like a firework,
Yeah. And whenever you saw them driving around on their four-wheeler, you knew that something was about to happen.
They're up to some chaos.
But then sometimes they would just drive around. They would like roll up to your building and then like look at your building. And like if you were in like one of the buildings or like one of the tents and you saw one of them outside, he would just like look at you, like look at the ground, look at you, and then go get on his four-wheeler and like drive away. And you're like, did he actually put something outside the building or like what's?
Is it freaking you out?
Yeah. Sometimes they would just fuck with you, just for the hell of it. I remember being out in the field at one point and being on like gate guard and like you hear like the four-wheeler and he comes like riding up the road, comes up to us, he's like, hey guys, hi, how you doing? Good. Okay, cool. Heads up. Throws an arty sim at us. And oh shit! So we like all hide behind things and he just throws like 7 or 8 more and then just drives away.
What a fun job to have.
It's like, oh my god.
Messing with people.
And then the observer controller showed up, like, literally, after the first one goes off, observer controller shows up and is like, yeah, by the way, you guys are all dead. That was like 10 mortars that just came in. God damn it.
Can't trust anyone.
Like, that's why I've said for a long time, I think if I had been in OpFor or if I was doing that kind of stuff, that's the only way I would have had fun at Fort Polk.
Well, you said that you liked actually being out there in the woods.
Well, yeah, that was fun, but like, the rest of Fort Polk was a miserable experience. But if I had been OpFor, granted, yeah, it sucks because you're still at Fort Polk, but it means that you get to run around and play soldier and piss off the U.S. military all day.
Those guys actually got to be the killer in Dead by Daylight. Everyone else is stuck for 6 years.
Oh, God. Yeah, a bunch of them would, they would take their, because you have to put a blank firing adapter on there, which is this little cage that goes around the flash hider, and a bunch of the OpFor guys would just like put duct tape over all the blank fire, because the blank fire adapters are like bright yellow or bright red. Also, a lot of times they'll just leave the blank firing adapter on there, which you really shouldn't do.
No.
Especially if you fire a bunch of blanks and then you don't clean the gun, and then you do that a lot because you're OpFor, and then you still never clean it, and then it's just like, my M4 has got to be literally the barrel has got to be all carbon at this point.
You could have like a misfire or like a bulge in your barrel if it doesn't get all the way through. Like that carbon could obstruct, right?
Potentially, I think you would have to do it a lot for the carbon to obstruct the barrel that badly. It's just going to cause reliability issues if you don't clean it. I have had to replace barrels because someone fired too many simunitions through it. Well, they had a simunition that like exploded in the barrel, so the next round went into the barrel and then stopped, and then the next round went in and then stopped behind that one. So when they brought it down to me, the entire barrel was filled with simunitions.
Jeez.
The whole fucking barrel. We took a bandsaw to it and cut it in half, and it was just like filled from behind the gas block to the chamber.
You used a saw to cut up the barrel?
I cut the barrel in half, yeah.
Okay.
Well, because I had to replace the barrel. I had to replace the barrel on it because, like, it was filled with simunitions.
There's no way to, like, unwedge it or, like, pull it out or use
No. It's just replace the barrel at that point. Because, like, you don't, it could have bulged the barrel. When you have a barrel that has now been filled with projectiles, you may have bulged it, so you're better off just replacing it.
Makes sense.
The only reason they realized something is wrong is because they went to fire it, and it wouldn't go into battery. They're like, I don't know why it's not, but why won't it go into battery?
I'm using the forward assist for the first time in my life.
It's not going into battery. Why isn't it working?
You see all those rounds in there. Did you know there was going to be all those rounds in there before you cut into it, or
I
was
knew
it a
that it was going to
surprise?
be. I knew it was going to be filled because when they brought it down to me, they said it wouldn't go into battery, and it looked like something was stuck in the chamber. So I like took it apart and I looked down into the chamber, and I could see the back of simunitions in there. So I knew that there were going to be ones jammed in there, and then I took the barrel and like tipped it over and put a cleaning rod down it to see how far they were in there, and I could only get the cleaning rod like a certain ways down the barrel. So I was like, oh man, this thing is filled with stuff. I don't know how much is going to be in there, but it's going to be a lot. There were, I think we counted, and there were like...
It couldn't be more than 10, could it?
Yeah, probably like 10 or so. There were like 10 or so rounds that were just stuck in there.
Were there any other rifle malfunctions that you noticed due to all these blank rounds and sim rounds?
It would have just been the people not cleaning their guns. People not cleaning their guns probably would have been my number one complaint, because the unit armor would bring me these guns and be like, I need you to fix these. And it's like, bro, these things are fucking filthy. Why has nobody cleaned these? I thought you were supposed to be anal retentive about people turning in dirty weapons.
Yeah.
I guess I'm gonna make you anal retentive. Go get someone to clean them and then bring them back, because like I'm not doing it. Doing Miles Gear stuff could sometimes just be a massive pain in the ass, because there's always like, in order to use Miles Gear, you kind of have to be shooting blanks through the gun. And the M2 machine gun needs this big cage thing that goes around the end of the barrel that makes it look like a Star Wars gun. The M2 needs that to fire blanks, and then you have to remove a cartridge stop from the feed tray. And that cartridge stop always goes fucking missing. I would always bring, like, just a bag, like a little plastic sandwich baggie of cartridge stops for the M2 machine gun.
And they were important for the rifle to function?
The M2 machine gun needs that cartridge stop, because then otherwise, if it doesn't have it, then when the cartridge gets fed into the M2 machine gun, if that isn't there, the bullet in the cartridge will just kind of like slide past where it's supposed to stop, and it'll cause a jam in the machine gun. It needs to have the cartridge stop. And part of the blank training, or part of setting up an M2 for firing blanks, is you remove that cartridge stop. What I would always end up doing is we would go out to the field and they would like set the 50 cal up for firing blanks. Like if I was there, I would always find the cartridge stop that they took off it, because they would take the cartridge stop off, set it down somewhere, and then forget where they set it down, put the machine gun onto the truck, and then drive away, and now it falls off the hood of the truck or wherever they set it. So what I would always end up doing is I would go out there with a bunch of like lacing wire, and I would see them with the cartridge stop. I would pick up the cartridge stop, and I would lacing wire tire it to the barrel extension.
Oh, all right.
And I had multiple times I would do that, and someone would just be like, dude, I never thought of doing that. Oh my god, thank you so fucking much. I would have forgotten that. And it's just like, yeah, that's why I did it. You're welcome. I just saved you an hour of getting bitched out by your sergeant because you forgot the cartridge stop somewhere.
And you were making less work for yourself, too.
Yep, because I knew that if I didn't do that, nobody was going to notice until the next time they went to do a live fire and it didn't work, and they were like, I don't have any cartridge. Where's the cartridge stop? I don't know. Where did it go? Where did the cartridge stop go? Were you doing blank fire training yesterday?
I've seen what blanks look like. They're just casings but without the bullet inside. They still got the powder and everything. I don't know why you would need to have a special adapter to fire those.
Because, so when you fire a gun normally, the powder is pushing a bullet out the barrel. When you fire a blank, there is no bullet getting pushed out. The powder is just exploding down the end of the barrel. But, crucially, there is nothing getting trapped in between the empty shell casing, where all the powder is exploding out of, and the bullet to travel down the gas tube and cycle the gun. That's why you have to have a thing that's on the end of the barrel that's reducing the barrel diameter, so some gas can still escape out the end of the barrel, but most of it is going back down the gas tube and either pushing the piston back on a belt-fed machine gun or pushing the bolt back on an AR-15.
So this is just something that goes on the end of your barrel?
Yeah, it's a thing that goes on the end of your barrel, and on the... It doesn't matter, you don't need a cartridge adapter to feed blanks into an M16. On a belt-fed machine gun, you need a blank firing adapter because blanks are actually shorter than normal ammunition. So if you don't have a blank firing adapter on a belt-fed machine gun, the rounds can basically wiggle around in the feed tray more than they would if they were a full cartridge.
Okay.
So you need a basically spacer to go in there to nose up against the cartridges.
To hold it straight.
To make sure that they don't, like, wiggle around in there.
Okay.
And that goes for both the 240 Bravo and the M2 machine gun.
So I remember putting some kind of red box on the end of my M16.
Yep.
And I think they called it a safety, but you're telling me that's a blank firing adapter.
Yeah. And then the yellow one, I think, is the M4 blank firing adapter. And the reason they're different is because they have two different sized ports in them, because the M16 is a 20-inch barrel, and it has a rifle-linked gas system, and the M4 is a 14.5-inch barrel, and it has a carbine-linked gas system. So technically, if you want it to function properly, you want to make sure it has to have the right hole in the blank firing adapter. Otherwise, you're going to be either over or under gassing it.
I see. Either way, you won't be firing live rounds out of those things, but it might interfere with how you fire the blanks.
Yeah. You can still fire a live round, it's just gonna blow up the end of your gun.
You can fire one bullet once.
Yeah, I mean, you probably could try to fire more than one bullet, but like, I think that you're gonna know the moment you pull the trigger and the end of your gun makes a weird explosion and then sprang noise, and the end of your gun turns into a banana peel.
Is that what you think it'll look like?
I don't know what's gonna happen if you fire a gun with a blank firing adapter, because they are designed to absorb a projectile. They're basically designed so that if you accidentally put a live round into a gun with a blank firing adapter on it, you're not gonna kill someone if it's pointed at them. It's designed to absorb it and basically disable the gun from allowing you to fire anything else.
Okay.
I have a bunch of muzzle devices that are made by a company called Surefire, and because they are different than a normal birdcage flash hider, you cannot put a normal blank firing adapter on them, because these muzzle devices are intended to work with a suppressor. So Surefire actually designed a suppressor that isn't a suppressor. It's a blank firing adapter that looks like a suppressor and has the same weight as it. They designed two different ones. One of the ones they designed will stop up to 5 bullets being fired into it before it will completely break. So if you haven't noticed that you're firing live rounds into your suppressor in 5 bullets, eventually it'll just go bah! Off the end of the gun. Which, like, if you haven't noticed that, by that point, you probably need to, you need to get your head checked, because that's something that most people would immediately notice.
You're just tunnel vision. You're focused. Not letting simple things like a gun misfire distract you from your goals.
I don't think you need to be that focused in a training scenario. I'm just saying.
The whole purpose of a training scenario is to simulate actual combat.
You know, fun thing about the blank firing adapters is they have the ring that's on the end of the blank firing adapter is the same ring that's on grenades.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's a grenade pull ring.
It's just like a regular key ring is what it is.
No, it's a really thick. I mean, you can use one as a key ring. It's kind of a pain in the ass, though, because they're like really thick and they are kind of inflexible. I know that a lot of the time, like when you're in training, they get real antsy about making sure that you turn in all the parts of the grenade that you didn't throw. So it's like you throw a grenade in like a training scenario, and they're like, all right, where's the grenade ring? Like, what do you mean, where's the grenade ring? We were doing training, I just dropped it on the ground. Well, you better go get it.
Oh, jeez.
It's like, oh my god. Why?
You're on your hands
We don't
and
need to
knees.
have accountability of the fucking grenade ring. It's over there in the bunker. Like, you saw me throw the grenade. How do we know that you don't have it on your person? You watched me throw it!
What if you can't find it? Do you actually just take your key ring and try and replace it with
I
that?
don't know.
Got a pocket full of keys because you had to use the key ring to turn in your grenades?
Sometimes the army is big stupid about stuff like that, and it's really fucking infuriating. We gotta have accountability of this thing. Like, why, dude? It's literally trash. It's actually trash. You have to turn in all the dunnage. Why?
Dunnage? Which one?
Dunnage is the stuff that's left over from when they issue out ammunition and things like that.
Oh, so like the cases that hold the bullets.
Grenades come in a little cardboard tube. So there's the cardboard tube, there's a little cardboard spacer, and then there's the smoke grenade.
Okay. I didn't realize you had brought a smoke grenade here.
Yeah, I brought a smoke grenade. I got out of the army. I
You
think
just casually reached over, brought over a canister, had a smoke grenade in it, and it took me a couple seconds to acknowledge that's what you were doing.
so. Yeah, I got out of the army and I missed my lucky smoke grenade. So I bought an expended smoke grenade, and now I keep that as my little lucky smoke grenade.
Cool.
I have a bunch of inert grenades. But yeah,
The smoke grenade seems to be about the same size as a can of soda, but it weighs weighs like it's a full can.
Yeah, it's always really interesting to me how much flimsier the smoke grenade safeties are than the fragmentation grenade safeties.
The lever?
Yeah, the little spoon.
You say that one's pretty thin by comparison.
Yeah,
huh?
it's way thinner than it is on a fragmentation grenade. Yeah, the dunnage is like the cardboard tube that it comes in, and then the little spacer that goes around the top of it, and like, man, they get real grumpy about you keeping any of that stuff. Well, no, I gotta turn it in. Why? To make sure that it was actually used.
Dunnage.
Don't tell me how to do my job, I don't tell you how to do yours. Alright, you know what? Fair.
Yeah, once it's all reassembled, it just looks like a, I don't know, like a little portable speaker.
I need more Inert ordnance. More! I need all of the Inert ordnance.
There's a lot of it out there. It's gonna get pretty pricey. You're gonna get yourself a 3D printer so you can make yourself some mock ordnance?
I don't need yet another hobby that I have to buy expensive equipment for.
But Zach, instead of buying all these random things on eBay, you can just make them yourself. Just one single purchase of a 3D printer.
But then it's also kind of like, it's not the same as having an actual Inert version of the thing.
No, it's cheaper.
It's not the same though, because it doesn't have the right weight. Yeah, I have a Miles Gear God gun.
Called so because the person using it is basically the system admin.
Yeah, pretty much. That would be actually, you know, the system admin gun would be a funnier name for it. That's kind of what this is, actually.
Yeah, the assistant to the regional manager gun.
It's the observer controller gun, assistant to regional manager gun, the I need to talk to the manager gun. No, the I need to talk to the manager gun is just a 12-gauge shotgun that you pull out and put on the counter when someone comes in and demands to speak to the manager.
That's not part of the Miles Gear.
Would you believe that there isn't a Miles Gear laser for a shotgun?
I would believe it, but it seems weird that there wouldn't be.
I mean, because, like, generally the army is like, yeah, what are you using a shotgun for? You're supposed to use it to... You're only using that to breach doors. You're not using a shotgun. That's one of the things that makes me really sad, is that the Marines are using probably the best combat shotgun ever issued to any military, and the only thing they use it for is breaching doors. That makes me sad.
Yeah, well, in combat, it takes a long time to reload a shotgun.
I mean, it doesn't matter how long it takes to reload a shotgun if you send one really pissed off Marine with a 12-gauge shotgun into a room and then everyone that was in there is dead.
Just don't have more bodies than you have shells, forehead.
Have I ever talked about the time that I blew up 2 Humvees?
In Miles Gear training?
In training.
Okay.
I blew up 2 Humvees in JRTC. I mean in JRTC. One of the very few times I got to be OpFor. We go do weapons draw, we put the Miles Gear stuff on our M16s. I don't know why they had a bunch of support dudes doing this, but like, whatever, I don't care, it was fun.
Maybe they were short-handed.
I don't know, maybe. They bring us out to this area where they took a bunch of shipping containers and they had like stacked them on top of each other and then cut holes in them for doors and windows and stuff, so they made it look like a little tiny village. And there was like a pedestrian bridge that went over the road. And we get out there and the observer controller is like, okay, so you guys are gonna be OpFor. There's gonna be a convoy that's coming through here later. We want you to just set up an ambush. Just you are local insurgents. You are local insurgents who are mad at U.S. Army. Make U.S. Army not be alive anymore.
That's your goal.
Okie dokie, I can do that. Maybe the reason they had a bunch of, like, support POGs set this up is because they're like, yeah, they won't be like infantry, they'll be real dumb. They'll set up a terrible ambush. It'll be really funny.
Maybe.
Maybe it was literally so that they could get the most realistic insurgent force possible. Just a bunch of random fucking 20-year-old dudes that want to blow up shit. We start getting stuff set up, and then I found, like, an empty cardboard box. And, like, some wires. I don't even remember where I found the wires. Just E4 Mafia shit, I guess. And I was like, I went to the observer controller, I was like, can this be an IED? Like, I'm like, is mayonnaise an instrument? Holds up a cardboard box with wires. Is this an IED? And he's just like, if you believe it to be, then it is so. And I'm just like, yes! So I go up and stand on the pedestrian bridge. And I set the box down next to me, and I set my M16 on the ground next to me. They set up some other stuff. They set up, like, 2 what would be IEDs. They concealed them in, like, garbage, and then people were, like, hiding in the buildings waiting to shoot at them. So these Humvees come up. At the time at JRTC, none of the Humvees that people were driving around JRTC were, like, the up-armored ones. They were the older Humvees, and one of the things that they were doing to simulate, like, a Humvee with a turret on it is they were putting a pintle mount or a turret on the bed of a Humvee, putting a camper shell on top of that, and then just cutting a giant hole in the camper shell so that the person with the machine gun could poke out of it.
Okay.
And I noticed that as they're driving up, there's the first Humvee that has like an actual turret on it, and then the second one just has a giant opening in it.
An opening?
Yeah, because they had just cut a hole in the camper shell. So they're pulling up, and I, like, wave at them, and the driver, like, looks at me and, like, waves back. I let the first Humvee pass, and then I just take the cardboard MRE box and just drop it down into the giant hole in the top of the Humvee. And it lands in the Humvee, and the observer controller immediately, like, just kills the vehicle. It's dead. It takes them probably, like, a good, like, 10 seconds to realize, oh, our vehicle is dead. No situational awareness. Like, I literally dropped you watched a dude in civilian clothes drop a cardboard box into a vehicle. And then the observer controller said, that vehicle is dead. Everyone in that vehicle is dead. And the vehicle that was behind them didn't think like, oh, maybe that guy did something bad.
Yeah.
So they stop, and I watch all of the people in the vehicle that's ahead of them get out, and they go up to the vehicle, and they're like, to everyone that's in the vehicle, are you okay? Are you okay? And the observer controller is like, dude, they're all dead. They are all dead. What are you doing? What are you doing? What are we doing? Oh, we gotta pull security. So they all get out, and they start like trying to pull security, and then everyone starts shooting at them. They're now trying to figure out how to hook up their Humvee to the Humvee that has been disabled. But like they didn't have a tow bar set up to it properly, so they can't figure out how to do that. And like you can hear their miles gear going off. The observer controller is just sitting there doing like the Picard with his head in his hand. Like I'm so disappointed meme. I'm just like shooting at a couple people, and I realize that there is another Humvee that is sitting underneath me. And I had made a second MRE box, so I just dropped that one down in there. And the observer controller is like, that vehicle's dead now. Are you gonna do something about the guy that's up on the bridge? And because there's a guy that's like, there's a fifth truck that's like the last one, and it's probably a good like 20 meters away from where the bridge is. They swivel around and just like, I know it was firing blanks, but watching a 50 caliber machine gun swivel around, point directly at you, and then seeing flashes come out of it is an experience, I will tell you. Even if it's just blanks, you're like, oh shit, this kind of fucked up.
I'm getting lit up.
I don't like that. So, like, the observer controller is like, you're dead, obviously. So I lay down on the ground. Like, I didn't need him to tell me. I could immediately tell that, like, they just pointed at me with a 50. Yeah, there's some little plates on this bridge to, like, kind of conceal it. But, like, that's not stopping a 50. So I just, like, lay down on the ground. They kind of start getting their stuff together, and they're running around trying to figure out. They're trying to, like, secure the area, because by this point, they've killed all of the insurgents. But they like come up these stairs to this pedestrian bridge, and they see me laying on the ground, and one of them comes up to me and starts going, "Are you okay? Are you injured?" And I'm like, "Dude, you shot me with a 50. I am body parts."
Yeah.
Oh. And then he just like runs past me. Like one of them tries to like pick up my M16. I'm like, "No, I'm dead. This is mine. It was issued to me. You can't have my M16. Just pretend it's not here."
I can't believe you would shoot at me with a 50 after I dropped a box of spicy penne pasta in here.
After I dropped the rat-fucked MRE box that was only filled with veggie omelets. That's why the vehicle was dead, because I dropped a veggie omelet box into it.
And like 8 snack breads.
Oh, God. The wheat snack breads just immediately gave everyone gut rot. Yeah, so they like cleared it and then left, and we had to do like a AAR afterwards, an after action review, and they were like, all right, what did they do correct? I mean, they shot me with a 50. I guess that's correct. What did they do wrong? Oh boy, let me tell you. You let me blow up 2 of your vehicles with MRE boxes. That was dumb.
Well, how was I supposed to know there was a bomb in that MRE box? Because I imagined there was!
I imagined it. I willed it into being. And again, I gotta say, I know it was just training, and I know they were just shooting blanks at me, but man, that is an experience having someone point a 50 caliber machine gun at you and then just dump rounds into it.
Glad you had that experience.
Yeah, I wonder what the water purification dudes do to fuck with people during their job training.
I never had to deal with OpFor, so probably nothing.
No, I mean during like the job training, because like I would mess with people during when I was doing job training. Part of doing like job training for M16 or basically anything, any gun where you have small parts. Part of the armorer's toolkit was this little. It looked like a little tackle box, and people would put each individual part into a little tray. So they knew like all these parts here go to the safety mechanism. All these parts here go to whatever. And that's how like they would keep track of them. But because I got my special brand of autism allows me to identify basically any gun part while I can only see like less than 1 millimeter of it. What the instructors would do when I was in job training is you would put all the little parts in that little bin, and what the instructors would do is they would come up, and if they saw that you had everything like neatly organized in this little bin, they would take the bin and flip it over and then scramble up all the parts.
Okay.
As you better know what part went to what. It was like you just look in the manual. If you don't know, look in the manual. It was kind of more of a you need to be reading the manual. If you're not reading the manual, you need to read the manual.
You either need to read the manual or have everything memorized.
Yeah, and technically you really should just be following the manual at all times, because then if something bad happens with the gun, it's not your fault because you followed the manual. You did exactly what you were supposed to do. So. But I distinctly remember seeing them going and flipping over everyone's parts bin, and they got it to me, and I grabbed it and flipped it over before they could. And I remember the instructor just looking at me and just being like, "You're no fucking fun," and then just like walked to the next one. So yeah, I would do literally the same thing when I was teaching small arms repair.
You could have broken the cycle sack.
They gotta learn. They gotta learn.
You gotta learn.
When I was in basic training, you do your field training exercise towards the end of basic training. That's like a week of being in the field.
Okay.
During the final field exercise, they had a fob that they had built out in the middle of the woods somewhere. So as part of the final field exercise, on like one day, each platoon goes out, and then that platoon is OpFor, and they have to try to attack the base. So we go march out with all of our gear out further into the woods. We start putting on like face paint, and one of the drill sergeants comes over. It's when the drill sergeants start being nice to you, you know that something bad is gonna happen. And so he's like, "Hey, how you guys doing? You doing good? We having fun and getting your face paint on? That's good. That's good. Yeah, nice. Glad you guys are getting your camo paint on there. How good are you guys good on putting on gas masks?" Pulls the pin on a CS grenade and drops it directly at our feet. People were just like coughing. Anyway, the reason this drill sergeant did that is because he had been exposed to CS gas so many times, he had basically built up an immunity to it. When we did the gas chamber in basic training, you are in a brick building that is filled with tear gas. They are burning pellets of tear gas on a stove, and everybody that is in there is wearing gas masks. This motherfucker was standing in there with no gas mask on for like 30 minutes. And then eventually was like, all right, yeah, it's kind of starting to get to me. I'm going to go step outside for a little bit. Go stand outside. He would go stand outside for like an hour, and then we'll go right back in. So we get set up. We're all ready to be OpFor. We go back to where our base is. So we set up multiple ambush positions where we had people that would like come out of the woods and like start shooting at the fob and then run back into the woods, so that their quick reaction force would come out of the fob and go after them. So we had them do that. Their QRF leaves the fob, and as soon as their QRF leaves the fob, the entire rest of our platoon goes running up to where the main gate is and tries to get into the base. So we go running up there, and because they had like a barbed wire or concertina wire band that we were using as the gate. So we go up, and I grab the concertina wire and start pulling it back, and the guy that's on gate guard is like, "No, what are you doing? Stop! They're gonna get in!" And I'm just like, "Dude, I am them. You are dead. I am them, you are dead." And he goes, "Oh," and like lays down on the ground.
Nap time.
So I grab the concertina wire, like slide out of the way. We run into the base, and we're basically just running through our fob at this point, just shooting at people. And if you're too close to them, you're saying, "You're dead, you're dead." And the drill sergeant that is immune to tear gas grenades, he is running around with 2 tear gas grenades duct taped to sticks, spraying the tear gas grenades at soldiers. Just screaming, "Die, you motherfuckers!"
So he's OpFor too.
Yeah, because he's being part of OpFor. And the really funny thing is, anytime someone's like, "No, you're dead," he's like, "The fuck I am, you're dead." And it's... Anyway, maybe not the most realistic depiction of OpFor raiding a compound, but... So I go like running over in this other direction, and we had all put on our gas masks beforehand because he was basically like, "Yeah, I'm just gonna be throwing tear gas grenades at everybody. I don't give a shit. Everyone's getting tear gas."
Sure.
And there's just this big cloud of smoke, as I come running up there, and I watch this person come out of the cloud of smoke, just snot dripping down their face, crying. No. Their M16 is dummy corded to them, and it's getting dragged along on the ground behind them. I'm just like, oh yeah, those guys are fucked anyway. I run into one of the tents to tell them that the people that in the tent are now dead, and I realize as soon as I got in there that it's the tent that the drill sergeants all stay in. And I look at them, and they look at me, and I'm like, and they're like, yeah, you should leave. And I go, okay, let's just go back up.
You're like, all right, yeah, I should leave. By the way, how good are you at putting on your gas mask?
No, they're not giving any of the soldiers CS grenades. They know better than that. Yeah, after like 10 minutes of this, all the drill sergeants are just like, yeah, that's enough chaos for one day. This is stupid. Okay, so what went badly there? If you don't say everything, I'm gonna make you do push-ups until the sun comes up. They had all 4 of the towers that were in this base were all shooting into the base. And because they couldn't really tell who was OpFor or not, they basically were just killing everybody. Yeah, our drill sergeant was very proud of us. Was just like, yeah, I mean, you got them shooting inside their own base. That was absolute chaos. That's fucked. That's not good. You guys did great. By the way, how good are you putting on gas masks? No, he didn't do that time, but...
Comedy comes in threes, he yells as he sleeps out.